CSS battle time. Let's do this thing. We have an odd divider sign? Division? Yeah. Okay. So I see this circle here, and what I see is a radial gradient inside of a element that's this size, you know. And I wonder, if, like, if I have a repeating radial gradient. Maybe that's not the way to go about it. Because if I do a radial gradient, I want to do it once and get both circles. Like, that's gotta be, that's the only way it makes it worth it, is when you can do a couple of circles. Because otherwise you have to do border radius. But border radius might not be the worst thing here. Because if we did a background with a box shadow, right? We wouldn't get a square box shadow on this thing. I'd need a containing element for it. No, that doesn't work. Okay. I was thinking of, having the box shadow fill up the space, but I don't think that's going to work. We could... Okay. Now I'm looking at this thing as like a rectangle on the bottom level, and I'm trying to make sure that's not the wrong way to look at it. Because if we did a radial gradient, and it was like bigger for this dark circle, right? The first one was big, and then we reduced it on the second one, but the element was only this big. But how do we get... Okay. I have an idea. It's going to take some testing. My thought is, no, font cascades down. It inherits anyways. I'd have to put font in twice. I was thinking of doing a radial gradient just on the body, letting it cascade up to the HTML, but changing the font on the HTML, but maybe getting this still on the canvas element. I don't think that works. That lower dot is just really bugging me. I guess I could do a paragraph tag. Once I get it done right, I could just do a paragraph tag, same size and everything, just move it down. Let's go with that route. Let's make it happen. Alright, I'm going to isolate the HTML. Do I want a box shadow? Or I just need a radial gradient? I need something to shrink the HTML so that it, yeah, I think a border. Okay, there we go. Border, let's 100 pixels solid. Is that right? Does that work? Top and bottom, it works. I wish we could get it so that it was actually the right thickness all the way around. What we can do is just put -10 margin on the sides. So we do that. Then I have to do this color twice. Maybe I do play some font games with the radial gradient and just add another element to this. But you add another element just to save on a border. Because I'm pretty sure I can. Yeah, let's just keep this going. We do have a margin now of 0, -10. It's not the worst thing in the world, right? Our background is going to be a radial gradient. We're going to go 1Q, and we're going to do the dark color for 10M, right? Fills it up. And then hopefully that'll make it easier to do like a percentage of it, font whatever percent, because it's 10M. I don't know, in my head it makes for easier math, but I might reduce this to 9M if that's all I need, just to save a character and then figure out the math again once we get it to work. We're just starting with what's easy. So turn off the diff. We still just have that block there, and we're going to use font in the body, which means we have to do, actually let's move that down into the body. There we go. And we still have the same results up there, but let's go font 10% A. There it is. So the body right now is let's give it some margin. There we go. Okay, it's covering everything. Nothing is showing up above. So the font's bubbling up to the HTML. So we are only getting, because we don't have a background on the HTML, we are only getting what the font background image is bubbling up to HTML. We're not getting the HTML rendered itself with this background, and then the body rendered itself with this background. So maybe take that away and we see something different. Okay. All right. I mean, I can just split it off into its own thing to isolate the border. We could have a border. What if... Oh, my mouse just suddenly stopped mousing. Okay. What if the border was 100 pixels? What is that? Let's put it in M for the moment. Can't really chase anything else. I guess what is it? 40 is 5 characters, so it'd be like 12. No, not 12. 5. So 80 would be 10, 2.5. So 12.5 is what it would be. That's not great. I guess M would be more. Let's use a calculator because I'm not that good. 100 divided by 16, we get 6.25. 12.5 is better. Okay, 6.25 M or 12.5 CH. There might be other units. I wonder, like the EX, like the X height or things like that. I need to start exploring that sort of thing too. There's a whole bunch of font-based units that you can use in this. I haven't really messed with it because it's just, that's a whole rabbit hole. What was I thinking now? Okay, so if we do that, what we can do is we can do star on this, move this guy up there, and now we aren't seeing anything because the radial gradient is showing up in the body. We should be seeing something. Oh, yes. Okay, so the radial gradient is showing up in the body, but why aren't we seeing a black portion, the dark red? We should be seeing the dark red. Okay, let's move this back to 100 pixels. Curious that that's wiping everything out now. It shouldn't be. Oh, good. We know we're good. 12.5 not MCH. Everything's gone because the body has a border now too. Let's turn this on. Okay. So we see that happening. I was wondering, let's margin this -50 100 there. Okay. Good. Everything's back-ish to normal. Let's give this an outline. That's what I should have done. It's just given this an outline. My goodness, why am I having so much trouble with that? All right. That's all working. Everything's working now. We just need to be able to see what the radial gradient turns into at 10%. And right now we aren't. There we are. Okay. So, -50. That's good. We're going to do like 50 on the sides. Let's do a little bit more, and let's move it up. It's going to be 80 on the sides. Yeah. Ooh, it is. Is it uneven? I wonder if it's just the body like overlap. 85. Let's look at that. Yeah, it's not going evenly. Okay, it's not moving evenly. And I think that's because of its border, the border that we currently have. That is okay. Let's go back to 80. Let's go to 100 on the bottom. Nope. 80 on the bottom. 70, 60. There we go. And this is going to go 70. Oh, there we are. There it is. So we do have a little bit of a border still on this. We should have like a 10 pixel border with this 10% value here. 10%, 20. Okay. The border, I think, is shrinking it too much. I wonder what we're seeing here. Like, what does that look like? That just looks like a square instead of the circle that we had when we didn't margin it. We have one Q, so it should still be a circle. Yeah, it's a circle like that, but when we margin it down, it disappears. 10% means it should be just a 10 pixel border. I feel like we should have enough room for that radial gradient background to be in the middle of the body. It's not quite big enough right there. So we do want it to be like, ooh, okay, 5, 12, something like that. So that should be a 12 pixel border on this, and 12% of 160 pixels, whatever that turns out to be. But our margins are smushing everything. No, that didn't change anything. Oh, you know what? Let's change the border color. And then we can see exactly what the border is doing. Okay. All right. So that's our border. It's a lot bigger than I expected it to be. At 12%, 100 pixels should reduce to 12%. So let's see if we can do like 5 pixels. 4, 3, 2. There we go. That's a little bit better. That's actually really good. Ooh, okay. Let's move this back up. 70, 60, 65. Nope. 60. Let's take this border color out of here. It's throwing everything off. Sizing is right, but the border isn't. Why is it not centered? Okay, let's move the top down. That's why. Yeah, the top doesn't matter. 41, 40. Okay, 40. That's why. That's what I needed to do. And we're good. There's some real things going on there. Okay. So then, now let's break it all by putting in a paragraph tag. Okay, it's not broken yet because the paragraph doesn't have a height. Let's go margin 0. Okay. A little bit broken. Let's give it a height of 50. Now it's more broken. 40, 30. Why is it a square now? Let's take the height out. All right. Let's say, actually, let's go just 100%. All right. So it is shrunk by the border. The border is now the problem. Because it's being pulled in on the sides by that border. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to use padding on this one. Although that will cause overflow more than I think. 40, 20. Okay, that's not too bad. Let's look at this. Expanded it down. Let's make this more like 30, 20, 20, 20. 2020 looks pretty good. Let's margin it 0, 0, and negative 200. We got border collapse. Let's go like that. Let's go negative 100. Really was hoping that'd move it down. Okay. 50. Negative 100. Still not moving. There it goes. Okay. But we need to put the 20 back in there. Okay, now we got it moved. Everything's shifted down a tiny bit. Okay. It's okay right there, like that. We just have to do some wild margins. 60, 50, 140. There we go. 135. 5. That's weird that way I need a negative 5 on it. Not gonna lie. Don't understand that. I'm not gonna fight it too much. I'm okay with that. Because it actually lets me do get rid of the space, but I added a negative so we didn't. 99.9. No. Okay. 6. Submit. Please be 100. This was more of a struggle than I expected. Sorry, excuse me. 100%. We're okay. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. I was thinking about doing less here, like 9M. But then, will it work with 3 pixels? Wow. Don't do that. I'm not messing with it. I don't feel like fighting it that much at this point. This is good enough. I know there's always like refinements to be had. Let's do our usual little... Oh, mouse forgot to mouse again. All right, there we go. Control X. Move this up to here. Close it. We can get rid of that semicolon, but this way we can save a character on our font. Oh, there's a space here. There we go. Yeah, white space. That is the one spot where white space will get you. We could change this into a percentage, but it doesn't save us because we still have that space gone. So I'm not going to choose percentages there. And I think I'm good. I think I'm happy with that. That was an interesting exercise. I had more trouble than I should have. But I like the workarounds we got, working with a couple of things in font that are being reduced in order to write the one background and put... I didn't put the colors in just once. I have that border there. But I don't see a way around that without... Yeah, I don't see a way around that. So, I'm going to call it 161. That's what I did. And I hope you're having fun with this, and I'll catch you later.